In a move that may or may not be designed to give us all a relaxing break from worrying about COVID-19, the US Navy has just begun rehearsing for World War III. Here's what you need to know. Tens of thousands of sailors and Marines are currently involved in the biggest U.S. naval exercise in a generation, spanning 17 different time zones as they prepare for possible future conflict with China or Russia, according to the Defense Post. Aircraft carriers, submarines, planes, unmanned vessels, and around 25,000 personnel will take part in what is known as Large-Scale Exercise 2021, according to military.com. Vice Admiral Gene Black, commander of the U.S. Sixth Fleet, said in a Navy press release that the exercise will test our commanders across a spectrum of naval warfare, from the tactical to the strategic, integrating the Marine Corps to demonstrate the worldwide fleet's ability to conduct coordinated operations. 36 units will participate in the physical aspects of the large-scale exercise, but more than 50 units will join the exercise remotely, according to Lieutenant Commander Tabitha Klingensmith of the U.S. Fleet Forces Command, cited by military.com. She added that these exercises will use technologies similar to those in video gaming environments to expand the number of participants, connecting units around the globe virtually in order to replicate the scale of possible fighting scenarios in the future. According to James R. Holmes of the U.S. Naval War College, the exercise demonstrates that the U.S. can deny adversaries control of the seas in different areas simultaneously, and in particular the Western Pacific, where it hopes to prevent China from occupying Taiwan. However, the U.S. Office of Naval Intelligence estimated last year that China's fleet of 360 battle force ships would outnumber the U.S.'s 297 by the end of 2020. What's more, military.com notes that this exercise comes off the back of the recent revelation that the U.S. had run a failed war game last year which exposed a number of strategic vulnerabilities, especially in communication. Speaking at a launch event for the National Defense Industrial Association's Emerging Technologies Institute last month, according to The Drive, 11th Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General John Earl Hyten said that the U.S. had run through several scenarios and simulations, and one included modeling a battle for Taiwan, which U.S. forces ended up losing. Without overstating the issue, it failed miserably. An aggressive red team that had been studying the United States for the last 20 years just ran rings around us, he said. They knew exactly what we were going to do before we did it. Specifically, the U.S. team lost network access almost immediately, which placed them at a severe disadvantage in the scenario. The U.S. Air Force's Deputy Chief of Staff for Strategy, Integration, and Requirements struck a similarly pessimistic note earlier this year after a separate war games failure, saying that the U.S. should never play the war game scenario of a Chinese attack on Taiwan again, according to The Drive, because we know what is going to happen. The definitive answer if the U.S. military doesn't change course is that we're going to lose fast. This is what